So the Royal Canadian International Circus, under the big top, we went to it with the kids, and it was the first circus that Lyric and Link have ever been to. Lyric went at 3.5 years old, and Link is pretty much 1.5 years old. And they had all the classic stuff, you know, they had your aerialists, they had a Wheel of Thrills Daredevil guy, they had the balancing chair guy, they had this really fun Human Slinky. I think that was like totally hilarious, and both kids really enjoyed that. And then they had these like Chicago boys group that was an acrobatic team. And me and Linky were wandering around at that time, and he really wanted to just like jump on the mats and go and play. So I had to like restrain him, but that was really, really fun and very entertaining. And yeah, they had like really the classic, I would say, circus acts. No animals other than like a merry-go-round setup that some horses went on that you could cha-ching pay to go and ride. So that was there. And what else? I think Lyric's biggest highlight, or like performance that he remembers the best, was this Ringmaster that became a Daredevil guy and did the Wheel of Thrills. And Lyric was just very enthralled with him on this spinning wheel. That was quite entertaining, and it was the last act, so it makes sense that he would remember it the most. I think the other ones that were really memorable were the Human Cannonball.
All systems are go. Join us now in our mighty cannon countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Which is really interesting because it utilizes complicated physics and secrets passed down through generations, but ultimately like just sheer bravery, I think, to be shot out of a cannon. Human cannonballs have dazzled audiences since the 19th century. So, what did you see at the circus?
Captain America.
There was a guy that looked like Captain America?
Yeah, and then they went into it.
Into?
And then the guy said 1, 2, 3.
You gonna show me how he did it? All right, I'll count you down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Blast off! There was a really cool performance that was, at first it didn't seem very interesting. It had like this guy and girl drumming and stomping, but then I went and looked into it further. They had a dance with a Boleadoras, which is like an ancient weapon that spins at 90 miles per hour. And it's like basically Argentinian culture, which I thought that's actually really interesting and really cool. I couldn't really hear the Ringmaster very much, so maybe he had talked about it, but I totally missed it. But looking into this more, that is a really neat aspect, I thought, and a really kind of interesting performance. There was also an aerialist that was a hair hanging aerialist, so she does the whole thing basically held on by her hair. Totally Lindsay Sterling, and they had Lindsay Sterling music playing, which like gotta send a shout out to that girl because we've seen her perform and she is incredible. So I love her music. If you haven't looked her up before, she does like violent and dubstep and hip hop. It's like very cool. But they had a girl do this hanging hair aerialist performance, which just like being held on by your hair is just crazy town. So she was there, and then they also had a regular aerialist on like the hoop, yeah, I mean, overall, it was a really fun experience. Some tips, I would say. So it is under the big top. I don't know where the air conditioning is, but we didn't have it. So we got general seating tickets. The kids were free, so we just had to pay for the adults. So which was nice because the kids came kind of wanted to come and go, especially Lincoln. You know, being 1.5, he was way too overstimulated and didn't have anywhere to run, and he's a runner, so like he's used to just like going and doing his own thing. He's not used to like sitting and watching anything, and he's not a television boy either, so I found that this was not a really great thing to bring my 1.5-year-old to. Lincoln's saying he would like to order up all of that, right? Aww. So I wouldn't recommend that in the future because whoever was watching Lincoln mostly did not watch the performance. And then Lyric, he's 3.5, and like his attention span is very come and go. You know, he saw lots of other kids and wanted to interact with them and wanted to play with them, but they're there to watch the show, so you don't really like meet anyone. You're supposed to sit down on these like hard bleachers with no backs. And so it just wasn't like super comfortable for him, I don't think. And it was crazy hot. Like this tent was super hot. I was melting and I had a t-shirt on and like I should have wore less clothing. It was super, super warm. So Tyler broke down and spent $5 a piece on snow cones, which Lyric was like, it just tastes like water. So all the juice was at the bottom, and then this thing was like so blue and wet. But I mean, it was really refreshing at the time to spend the $5. So of course it's the circus, everything is expensive. Here's a picture of all the prices of stuff that, you know, it's just crazy, you know, the food pricing. So we didn't really order anything because we ate before, which was awesome. But yeah, it was hot. Like bring water. And then they did open up the kind of like the exit tent flaps in intermission, and that kind of cooled the space down. But then they closed them again, right? Because they want that dark, cool atmosphere and vibe. And so it was just like crazy hot the rest of the time, like crazy, crazy hot. And then yeah, so I would ultimately say that my kids were too young for the circus at this point to really appreciate it and enjoy it. I did take a few snippets and videos and showed Lyric later, and like he was way into it. So I think just a different environment, or maybe like a low-key one with that was kind of a come and go situation, I think he would do much better with. But I mean, it was fun, and we got to do the circus as a family. We did it for Father's Day, so it was a really fun way to celebrate and do something different as a family. So if it's in your town and your kids are the right age and you think they would enjoy this show, like there's some really cool performances. So enjoy and have fun at the circus.